Hi Libra, thank you for tuning in. This is a mid-month reading for the month of May 2017. Alright, so let us see what the cards would like to share. Libra, please. The scales, balance. Libra. Okay. Libra. Right, so this is where you are. This is where you want to be. This is your focus. This is where your focus is taking you. Advice and additional advice. Okay. Let me sit with this for a second. Move it up a little bit so you can see. Where you are, I have the Seven of Wands. You are just coming out of something or overcoming something. It could be, something as simple as having completed your exams, or integrating a lesson, moving on from a relationship or from a tension in a relationship, or there's the coming out of something. It could be a difficult time at work or a project that is finally on its way. There's something that you are moving on from. Not necessarily leaving behind, moving on from. I'm getting more of, not in the physical sense, but rising above. There's a rising above a certain situation, or moving on from being in a certain state of being within a certain situation. Because right after that, I have the Sun, where you want to be, a place of warmth, a place of abundance, finally peace and calm, stability, no tensions, no conflicts, things to go smooth. I mean, think of when you're on the beach or when the sun is shining, that feeling of it doesn't matter. It's what's going on today. I mean, the sun is shining and I already feel so good. That mood, that's where you want to be, in that kind of place. Now, this is interesting. Your focus, I have the Seven of Cups. Your focus is to it seems to me like it's rest or not being overwhelmed. To really, if you think of, I often use this analogy, if you think of a heartbeat monitor or a radio wave, your focus seems like instead of all of this, you just want like a smooth kind of smoothness, things to kind of run a little more smooth, a little less hectic, kind of like either a routine or your focus, it seems to be not to be overwhelmed, not to have too many choices, to really just kind of settle in to this stable kind of environment. It could be in a relationship, work, family, what have you, to have it be stable, to kind of sink into the couch of stability and really start enjoying it, because it looks like you're coming out of something, moving into a new kind of, I don't want to say how can I put this into words? Not being overwhelmed, basically, a stability, a smoothness. Where that focus is taking you, it looks like the end of a battle. As you're coming out of something, moving out of something. You want that warmth. You're focusing on kind of a stability, a smoothness. It's taking to a place where that actually is going to be all over, whatever you're moving on from, and you will then have more freedom of choice. Because the Five of Swords, I mean, the battle has been fought, and now he's collecting all the swords, right? These spoils of war, so to speak, and he can go home, he can continue collecting. It doesn't matter whose enemy is anymore. The battle is over. It's now more, once the war is over, things kind of get more settled in, you know what I mean? There's nothing that's wreaking havoc. So focusing on that smoothness and not being overwhelmed and really kind of sticking to a more consistent path is taking you there. It's taking you to the end of whatever it is that may have been turbulent or whatever it is that you're moving on from or coming out of. Because where you are right now, you're coming out of that. It's not entirely over or does not feel entirely over. Okay. Under the advice column, I have the King of Cups. King of Cups wants universal love. I mean, think of the kind of people who love everyone unconditionally, who see the world in such beautiful eyes and they don't see the horrible things in it, and they, this abundance of love and warmth and sunshine. So advice, really try to remind yourself that whatever it is you're coming out of, because after all, that's where you want to be, the sun, right? Warmth and that mood. You're focusing on stability, on less turbulence, right? Love will help with that. And in additional advice, I have the Ten of Cups as well, emotional fulfillment. So it may be helpful to know that while this transition is happening, personal, developmental, something happening in your life, while this transition is happening, also spoil yourself. Do things that bring you fulfillment. It could be taking a particular class. It could be playing a certain game, watching certain movies. It could be working at an animal shelter or connecting with nature. Whatever it is, what these cards are telling me is also don't forget to feed that emotional side of yourself. Because that will help that movement, that will help that transition. Seven of Wands, there's a coming out of something, a rising above something, a moving out of something. And right underneath that, I have the Five of Swords. So the battle will be fought. It will be over finally, right? Because that's your focus. The sun is where you want to be, a place of warmth and just calm, no tensions, no conflict. Right underneath that, I have the King of Cups. So unconditional love, focus on unconditional love, which will help bring in that sunshine. I mean, I know it sounds corny, but you know what I mean. And then the Seven of Cups, not wanting to be overwhelmed, sticking to one thing, a smoother path. Right underneath that, the Ten of Cups. So do whatever it is that helps you feel emotionally fulfilled. And that will help with this feeling of not being overwhelmed, because there will be a more solidified energy inside of you. And oftentimes things that bring us emotional fulfillment, or things that really take us to that place where we feel so safe and so untouchable, may be stigmatized or looked down upon, and it can prevent us from doing that. Some people enjoy dancing, but it requires going to certain places or mingling with certain people, and you try to avoid that, for example, because you don't want to be associated. But if it brings your heart joy, just do it. Some people want to have a glass of wine and watch certain corny movies before bed, but I want to educate myself, I should watch documentaries. You know what? This is a time where you do whatever you need to do to bring that emotional fulfillment. You know what I mean? You want to flirt. You want to be cheesy. You want to post videos or go dancing or close yourself in your apartment or your house for like 3 days and do nothing but, sob. Whatever it is that will bring you emotional enlightenment, that will really help you get to the end of whatever it is that you may be trying to move on from, do it. It doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. We are wise enough to take other people's advice into consideration, especially those that are close to us, okay? But at the end of the day, we still need to listen to our own guidance, to our own heart, and do what we feel is best for us, because only we know that. Only we know that. No one can tell you what will help you except your own heart, your gut, whatever that is inside of you that there's that pull towards. Okay, so let's see if I can get one more card to sum it up. Okay, for Libra. It doesn't feel like it's anything too heavy either. It's more like you finally want it to be over with, whether it's, self-esteem or, there we go. Okay, so I have the 5 of Wands that came out. Right, so to sum that up, this conflict or this tension, it might actually, this makes sense why there are, in the advice and additional advice columns, King of Cups and 10 of Cups, which are the most emotional of the cups, like the most love, yay, love, because 5 of Wands or staves, there's sticks, basically. It's wood, and there's 5 men, and something got out of hand. They're beating each other with these sticks, okay? Which means they're not really causing each other harm. It's more like frustration or anger, right? What this card is telling me is that without doing whatever it is that brings you emotional fulfillment, it is easy to get frustrated without really trying to unconditionally love and really come from that place. Because it's not easy to love unconditionally, and to be completely honest, I think it's very, very rare for any human being to love that way, because we are human. We're not angels, we're not God, we're human beings. It is very, very difficult to love unconditionally because we have egos, we have a self-identity, right? But when we come from a place of unconditional love, from a good place, from that true place, authentic place, it is easy to avoid this conflict, to avoid these frustrations or these tensions. Okay, so be mindful that should any frustrations or tensions arise from whatever it is you're moving through or from or out of this movement, okay, this end of whatever it is, you want there to be an end of doubts, an end of fear, an end of problems in your relationship, an end of these tensions at work. Whenever there arises any conflicts or tensions or frustrations, or you just want to beat someone upside the head with a stick, try to remember to come from a place of unconditional love. And how do we know what that place is? When we love ourselves unconditionally, when we fulfill ourselves unconditionally, when we watch those movies, eat that food, laugh, do whatever it is that makes us feel good. Okay, that place. Come from that place. Okay, it's very easy to be knocked off course because, like I said, we're human beings. We are not perfect. And if we were perfect, we wouldn't be incarnated. That would kind of defeat the purpose. But your focus is that warm place, so remember that. Your focus is that place of stability. It's where you want to be, warmth, sunshine. And coming from a genuine, compassionate place will only get you there sooner. Okay, that's what I have for Libra for the middle of May. I do hope that was helpful. I would love to hear your feedback. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next month.